Yeah, Goth and Mortigan, you scoundrels! Good morning. Well, today we're going to talk about why we stay warm in Western Canada and some of the reasons that contribute to us not being in igloos like everybody in southern United States think we live in. So one of the first reasons is because our average temperature in Vancouver area and Vancouver Island is during summer and winter is 10.4 degrees Celsius year-round. Now it can drop lower because of snow, occasional snow I mean. We don't get it very often. When we get it, because we live in a rainforest, technically, the rain melts the snow fairly quick once it goes back to raining in the winter here. And it does rain a lot more in the winter than it does in the summer in the Vancouver and Vancouver Island area. The average ocean temperature is 12 degrees Celsius. And during the summer and the winter, the only difference in the ocean temperature is about 3 degrees from one season to the next. So it's a fairly stable and average water temperature year-round. The one thing that works against us, but also for us, is the humidity. The average humidity in the Vancouver and Vancouver Island area is 78%. So that's a quite high humidity. The reason for this is because we live by the ocean, of course. And because the ocean is on the warmer side, here, on this side of the continent, the eastern prevailing winds blow across the warmer water and bring that warmth and rain toward our coast. And this is why we have more of an average temperature year-round, summer, winter. Now, where I live on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Ladysmith, I don't mind saying that, I live in what's called the Banana Belt. And what the Banana Belt is between Nanaimo, BC, Vancouver Island, and Victoria, BC, Vancouver Island, which is, I'm being rough, okay? It's the banana, if you actually look at a map at the Banana Belt, it's shaped a bit like a banana, and that's why they call it. That's the warmest part in Canada, so we are very fortunate. So I live in the right in the Banana Belt because I live in Ladysmith, BC, Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and therefore I live in the warmest part of Canada. Awesome. And this is why living in your van is not so bad. The biggest thing we deal with is condensation because of the high humidity. But I have an Olympic Wave 3 heater. Now these heaters are really good because if you want to live boondocking or off the grid, they don't need any power, any 12 volt power or any 110 power. They are a catalytic heater. They are 99.98 efficient. So all you need to do is crack a window, and it says in the instructions, always read your instructions on your heaters and follow them very closely because that's what keeps you safe. So they're 98.98 efficient. So that means there's no carbon monoxide at all, basically. They do burn oxygen, so you've got to let some fresh air in so the heater gets oxygen to keep running. They are 1600 BTU to 3000 BTU. When you light the Olympic 3 heater, you must put it on high for about 10 minutes and then you can switch it to low, and that is so the pad completes complete combustion. On 1600 BTU on low, I can stay in this thing and it's just like living in your house. It takes a while to heat up to the comfortable temperature because it's not like a 10 or 15,000 BTU furnace. But once it's there, it keeps you quite comfortably. In other words, it has to heat the cabinets, the seats, your bedding and everything has to warm up first. So it takes a while to do that, right? If you want to heat it up quicker, get yourself the little buddy heater or whatever they call them. I don't like them. I don't have one. I had one, but they're always breaking down. And, you know, they do work. You know, I'll give it that, and they put out tremendous heat. But the problem is once you get to a comfortable temperature, they cook you right out of the place. You got to turn it on. You got to turn it off. You got to turn it on. You got to turn it off because there's no thermostat on it. Also, what the Olympic Wave 3 heater has, which you cannot buy in Canada, you have to order from Amazon. They're about, I've seen range from $250 to $350 depending on their sales for the Olympic Wave 3 heater. They have what's called an ignition shut-off valve. So in other words, if the heater quits running or you leave the valve on without it being lit, it'll automatically shut off. So it won't fill your van up full of, you know, propane, which is, of course, wouldn't be a good situation. So they are quite a very nice heater and quite safe if you operate them properly, just like any other thing. Some vans have a wood stove in it. Well, you wouldn't go to sleep and leave your wood stove door open. I mean, that's just nonsense, right? So you got to follow the instruction. I can't specify that enough. It'll heat up to about what they claim 130 square feet. So, which is quite good. I mean, that's, you know, most vans anyways, right? Now my Class B wide body here is got walls that are like, oh, I don't know, almost 2 inches thick because it's got a honeycomb interior between the outer and inner wall. So this thing is actually insulated better than most. So so it doesn't take much to get, once this thing's warm, to keep it warm, so which I really like. And of course you got to do your other things, as in, you know, put your reflectix on your windows and all that good stuff, but that's a whole nother video. So what I'll do now is we'll beam over to the Wave 3 heater and I'll show it to you. I'm back. Okay, this is the Wave 3 heater. I'm not going to fire it all up because there's lots of videos out there on the Wave 3 heaters on how they start up and work. Yes, I have a propane tank inside with it. I do not recommend that if it can be unsafe, but I do have it. I'm not worried about it. I have a bottle up there with soapy water, so that Windex bottle is full of water and dish soap, and I can spray my fittings every time I disconnect or connect it to make sure that they're not leaking, because it'll bubble right away. And of course your nose is another very good indication whether your tank or regulator is something leaking, because you can smell it. It smells like rotten eggs. So the tank and the regulator, which is right there, remember to turn your valve on very slowly so your slam valve will not engage and only give you about half the pressure you need at your heater. Fantastic heater. I recommend it 100%, but again, you can do your own research on it and you know, get all your own facts, because that's technically your responsibility. You are responsible for your own actions. But I do love this heater. It works very well. You don't need power, 12 volt, to run it. One day in the future here, I'll do a whole light up sequence of it. If you want me to, put it in the comments. If you want me to actually show it in detail, I will. So, you guys have a good one. Skull!